No man or woman ever asked him the directions to such and such a place. But what did Scrooge care? It was the way he liked things. Winding his way along the crowded paths of life, warning all other humans to keep their distance. Once upon a time, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather. The city clock had just struck 3 p.m., but it was already quite dark. Candles were flaring in the windows. Fog came pouring in every chink and keyhole. The door to Scrooge's counting house was open so he could keep his eye on his clerk, Bob Cratchit. Scrooge had a small fire, but the clerk's fire seemed so much smaller that it looked like only one coal. Scrooge kept the coal box in his own room and warned Bob that if it became necessary to use more coal, then it would also be necessary to part ways. With the aid of a comforter, the clerk tried to warm himself over the candle, but failed.
Good King Wenceslas was about on the feast of Stephen, when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even. Brightly shone the moon that night, though the frost was cruel, when a poor man came in sight, gathering winter fuel.
Where do you think you're going, Bob?
Just to get in a small piece of coal, sir. It's awfully cold in here.
It's warming up. We can't be wasting coal, Bob, now can we? Just pull your comforter tighter and go back to work.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge. Yes, sir.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
Master Fred.
Humbug.
Christmas? A humbug? Uncle, you don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do mean it. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
What reason do you have to be so dismal? You're rich enough.
Humbug.
Now don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in a world full of fools like you? What's Christmas to you anyway but a time for paying bills without any money? A time for finding yourself a year older and not 1 hour richer. If I had my way, every idiot who went around saying, Merry Christmas, would be boiled in their own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through their heart.
Oh, Uncle.
No, nephew. You keep Christmas in your way and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it!
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it will do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things for which I have not made money, including Christmas. But Christmas has always been a good time. A time for forgiving, for being charitable. A pleasant time when men and women can open their hearts freely to think of others. It has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, but it has done me good, and I say, God bless it!
Another sound out of you, and you'll be keeping Christmas by looking for another job.
Please come and eat with us tomorrow, Uncle.
I'm much too busy for that type of nonsense. Now, good day to you, sir.
I will still keep the Christmas spirit, Uncle, so Merry Christmas!
Bah!
And a Happy New Year!
Humbug!
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe.
Oh,
do I have the privilege of speaking to Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these last 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
Well, we have no doubt that his giving nature survives in his partner, Mr. Scrooge.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is desirable that we make some slight provision for the poor and destitute, for they are suffering greatly.
Yes, many thousands are in want of common necessities, and many hundreds of thousands are in want of small comforts.
Are there no prisons?
There are plenty of prisons, sir.
And the workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are. I wish I could say they weren't.
Well, I'm glad to hear it.
They hardly offer any Christian cheer for mind or body, sir.
For that reason, Mr. Scrooge, We are endeavoring to raise some funds to provide for the poor, and it is at this time of year that we do, because at this time it's the season when want is most keenly felt.
That's true.
You're a man of abundance, Mr. Scrooge.
Yes, he is.
What shall we put you down for?
Nothing. Oh, no, we understand, sir. You wish to be anonymous.
I wish to be left alone. I do not make merry at Christmas, and I can't afford to help others in their idle pursuits. Let the poor go to the poorhouse.
Many would rather die than go there, sir.
Well, if they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. It's enough for a man to tend to his own business without interfering in that of others. Speaking of which, I have my business to run, and I'm a very busy man, so good day to you, sir.
I must say, sir, I find your attitude appalling.
And I must say I am appalled by beggars such as yourself who think it's all right to bother honest businessmen. Now, good day.
But sir, we're not asking for ourselves. I'm very sorry, sir.
You are sorry for the poor?
No, sir, I'm sorry for you.
Oh.
Good afternoon. And Merry Christmas, sir.
Oh, I cannot bring myself to wish that man a Merry Christmas. No, I find him deplorable.
Merry Christmas.
Meanwhile, the fog and darkness so thickened that even the bell tower of a nearby church was no longer visible and seemed to rise into the clouds. The cold became intense, and the streets became covered with ice. The lamps in the shops and houses barely pierced the darkness, and faces on the inside appeared ruddy and indistinct. The shops were void of patrons, and only the homeless huddled around fire barrels on the street corners. It was a dismal day.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Get away from my door. Be gone, you beggars. I have nothing for you. No, leave. I have nothing for you. Be gone. Howling idiot. Give us a shilling, Mr. Scrooge. Give us a shilling. I'd like to give him 6 months in the workhouse. I'd show him what a Merry Christmas is, and I'd keep him from begging at my door. And there's another fellow, my clerk, Bob Cratchit, making 15 shillings a week with a wife and family and ranting like a lunatic about having a Merry Christmas. What on earth is he to be merry about? Time to close up, Bob.
Yes, sir.
I expect you finished the last page on the tally book, have you not?
Oh, yes, sir, I have.
Well, give it to me then, and good day to you. I'll see you early in the morning.
Everything's caught up and ready for the next business day, sir.
Very good, very good. Huh. Oh.
Sir, I was wondering, tomorrow being Christmas Day and all, if I may, well, sir, if I may have the day off.
You want the whole day off, I suppose?
Oh, yes, sir, if it's quite convenient.
Well, it's not.
Okay.
And it's not fair either. If I were to dock you a half a crown, you'd think I was using you unfairly, wouldn't you?
I don't know, sir.
And yet you expect me to pay you a full day's pay for no work?
But, sir, it's Christmas Day. It only comes once a year, sir.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. I suppose you can have the whole day off, but you be in here all the earlier next morning.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir! Splendid!
Bob.
Yes, sir?
Aren't you forgetting something?
Forgetting, sir?
Yes.
Forgetting?
Yes, sir. Oh, give me that.
Sir, Merry Christmas, sir.
Scrooge took his dinner in his usual tavern. After reading all the newspapers and perusing his bank book, he went home to bed. He lived in a house that once belonged to his late partner, Marley. It was an old and dreary place, for no one lived there but Scrooge. The evening was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew every brick, was forced to grope his way along the building to find his way in. Now there was a large door knocker on the door that Scrooge had seen each day and night since Marley's demise 7 years ago. Although he had not thought of Marley since he spoke with him that afternoon with the folks collecting for the poor, the door knocker now appeared as Marley's face. It gave old Scrooge quite a start. Ooh. But as he examined it closer, it became a door knocker again. Quickly, he placed the key into the lock and opened the door. He hurriedly lit a candle and looked behind the door before he closed it.
Ebenezer! Ebenezer Scrooge, do you know who I am?
What do you want with me?
Much.
Oh, who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then? You're rather particular for a ghost.
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Marley? Jacob Marley? But you're dead.
Yes, I've been dead these past 7 years ago. I died 7 years ago this very night. May I sit down?
Can you?
Yes.
Can you sit down?
I fear you do not believe in me.
I don't.
What would it take to convince you?
I don't know. Maybe no more than an upset stomach, an undigested bit of beef, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of undercooked potato. You're more of gravy than of the grave, whatever you are.
Scrooge was not in the habit of cracking jokes, nor did he feel at that moment by any means humorous. The truth is, he tried to act smart, to keep down his growing terror. To sit staring at those cold, glazed eyes, Ebenezer felt would be his undoing.
Have mercy, dreadful apparition. Why do you trouble me? You're fettered. Tell me why.
I wear the chains I forged in life. I made them link by link and yard by yard. I put them on of my own free will, the chains of greed. But you should know, Ebenezer, that your chains were as long and as stout as mine 7 years ago, and you've been working on yours ever since. Oh, it is a ponderous chain that you bear.
Huh. Tell me more, Jacob. Speak words of comfort to me.
I have none to give. Words of comfort are for other kinds of men than you.
You were always a good man of business, Pete.
Business? Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, compassion, these were my business. Now I must make amends for what I have neglected in life.
You have always been a good friend to me.
You will be visited and haunted by 3 spirits.
It's all the same to you. I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to escape my fate. Expect the first when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I just take them all at once, Jacob, and be done with it?
Look for me no more, and for your sake, heed the warning that I have given you. Farewell.
No, wait, Jacob, I need to talk to you.
Farewell.
Jacob, don't leave.
Scrooge seemed drawn to his bedroom window.
Oh,
As he stared into the street, the earth seemed filled with phantoms wandering here and there in restless haste. Every one of them wore chains like Marley's ghost. Many of them had been known personally by old Scrooge while they were alive. Their misery was that now they sought to intervene for good in human matters, but had lost the power to do so forever. It was a strange figure, like a child, yet not so much like a child as like an old woman viewed through some supernatural spectrum. Its hair was white, and yet it had not a single wrinkle on its face. It wore a tunic of pierced white, and around its waist was a beautiful, lustrous belt. It had a branch of holly in its hand, but the strangest thing about it was the bright, clear jet of light that sprung from the crown on the top of its head.
Oh! Oh! Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me?
I am.
Well, who or what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
What business brings you here?
Your welfare. Come and walk with me.
I can't. I'm but a mortal, and I may fall.
I will touch you here, and you will be upheld in much more than these slippery streets.
As these words were spoken, they found themselves on a country road with fields on each side. The city had vanished completely, and the darkness and mist were gone. It was a cold, clear winter's day with snow on the ground.
Look, this is where I grew up.
You remember the way?
Remember it? Why, I could walk it blindfolded. There lays the town, and the bridge over the river, the church and the market, and there's the school that I attended. There's even the boys I went to school with.
These are the shadows of things that have been.
Oh.
What is the matter?
Oh, nothing. Well, it's just that there was some carolers at my place of business this morning and some men who were collecting for the poor. Perhaps I should have given them something. Nah, it's too late now.
Come, there's more to see. Do you know this place?
I know it. I was apprenticed here.
And do you remember your first master?
Oh, indeed I do. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig were the kindest masters that ever lived.
Then why did you not follow their good example? Your lip is trembling, and what is that on your cheek?
Nothing. Nothing. Just a snowflake and nothing more. Where do you show me these things?
I have come to save you from what you have become, Ebenezer Scrooge. I have come to kindle new life into that stone that once was your heart. Behold!
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Droll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Oh, such beautiful singing! That's right, sing away. Merry Christmas. Bless you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you, ma'am. A very Merry Christmas to you as well. And to you as well, Mr. Fezziwig.
Why, it's old Fezziwig, bless his heart, and Mrs. Fezziwig, too. Yo, hold there, Ebenezer and Dick. Where's Dick Wilkins, to be sure? We were very close as lads. Hey, this was over 40 years ago.
Yo-ho, my boys. No more work tonight. It's Christmas, my boys, Christmas. And we shall celebrate. Close the shutters and clear the floor, lads.
String